it in the head! Hurry!
Hey, what's up, pups? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. We are live on X, Rumble, and YouTube. So, hope you guys had a good weekend. It's Monday. You know, it is what it is. It always is. The same thing. Just start of a new week, and you're just like, can it just be the weekend again? But welcome. Thanks to everyone who feels the need to hang out with me, I guess. The show just analyzes and looks at pop culture, you know, just gets a big old giggle of what's happening in the old pop culture area, whether it's good, bad, you know, ugly, spiritual, all that fun stuff. And I'm just a man who gives his own 2 cents. But I appreciate and try to be as humbled as possible for anybody who likes to hang out with me as we check out some sweet news. And we've got quite a list of some news today, some good and some bad. So I say we hop right into it. Let's go. There we are. So this comes from Video Game Chronicle. This caught my eye just because it's Capcom and involving Dead Rising. So after Dead Rising, Capcom asked players if they want more deluxe remasters. So, and then we got a little subtitle here, including Lost Planet, Devil May Cry, Power Stone, Resident Evil, Onimusha, Darkstalkers, and Okami. But the Wii has or the Wii U has Okami, if I'm not mistaken. They already did a remaster of that. I laughed at this just because people are already crapping on how bad the remaster of Dead Rising is, or remake, I guess. I don't know. They throw that word around so much. It's like, who knows? Who knows what they mean? Capcom has launched a survey designed to gauge consumers' interest in more deluxe remaster titles. So the survey was made available. Ooh, my nose itches, sorry. It's made available to coincide with last week's release of Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, which Capcom has billed as practically a remake of the 2006 original game. Yeah, and people were mad about it, right? Because you guys were changing all this stuff. Sorry. So the survey was made. Oh, I already read that. Sorry, I got distracted. Saw a work-related text, but it wasn't towards me. Powered by its RE engine, the remaster boasts modern graphics. Okay, updated for a second there. I was like, "What in the remaster boots modern or boasts?" Never mind. Updated character models, which some people were complaining about certain characters. Expanded language support, revamped controls, and quality of life improvements like autosaving. Capcom asked survey respondents, would you like to see more deluxe remaster titles like this in the future? And then, apparently deluxe remasters are defined as remasters with improved playability and updated graphics, including new 3D models. Of course, they've got to fist that in there. If not, the survey asked players whether they'd prefer a full remake over a deluxe remaster, or whether a simple remaster with improved resolution to meet current hardware standards would be sufficient. Players are also asked Players are also asked if there are particular series that they'd like to see get the deluxe remaster treatment. And then the options available to respondents included Lost Planet, like the ones I listed earlier. Players are also asked whether they want to see more Dead Rising games released, and if so, in what form, deluxe remaster, remake, or a brand new series entry. So the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster Standard Edition costs $50, £39.99, I'm assuming. wait, between 50 and 45, while the game's digital deluxe price is at 60. Wait, what? Oh, the digital deluxe? Oh, it's the standard. Okay, sorry. Standard and deluxe. Capcom wants to know what players think about this pricing structure too. I mean, is the game worth $60? Even 50? Who knows? I think if it's a brand spanking new remake or a brand new series entry, then yes, you're 50 to $60 would be it. But for just a standard edition, no way, man. Especially if you refuse to follow, just leave it as is, because we know what they're doing. They're, changing stuff. They're secretly updating it for the modern audience. That's the issue that we all know what's happening. It's not the first time this year Capcom had asked players if they want to see sequels or remakes for certain current and old series. And then I guess VGC's did a deluxe remaster review and called the game the perfect setup for a sequel. I mean, it already has it, Dead Rising 2. Ultimately, by the time we finished Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, we were ready for what's next. The Dead Rising 2 Deluxe Remaster would go down a treat and is likely to follow, but what we really want is Dead Rising 5. I mean, I know everyone enjoyed 1. I think some people enjoyed 2, but I don't know how 3 and 4 did. I thought it capsized after a while or something, but don't quote me on that. But there you go. Capcom asking more. You guys want deluxe remasters? And it's yes, but if you treat the original title with respect, if you're upgrading it to the modern audience, stamp of damnation, then no, we don't want it. Also coming from Video Game Chronicle, I saw this. Double Dragon artist says Arc System Works revival shows no respect to the original. None of the original developers acknowledge it as a Double Dragon game, he claims. Ouch. One of the artists who worked on the original Double Dragon has criticized Arc System Works' upcoming revival. Double Dragon Revive is an upcoming beat-em-up published by the Arc System Works, Guilty Gear, and developed by UK's AEW Fight Forever. The game aims to breathe new life into the classic Techno's beat-em-up series. However, Koji Ogata, who was an animator on the 1987 arcade original and went on to work on most other games in the series, posted on X, as spotted by Automaton, that he and the other members of the original development team refuse to acknowledge Double Dragon Revival as part of the series. I'll be honest with you, Ogata wrote. The fact is that not a single person in the Technos team recognizes this as a Double Dragons game. Ogata continued criticizing the game in replies to followers, also citing Super Double Dragon designer Maniki Ibanuma, who he said agrees with him. According to Ibanuma, this game was made by a current generation of game designers who have never played or thoroughly played the arcade version of Double Dragon, he claimed. That's exactly what happened, and the result is a cheap, modern game that shows no respect for Double Dragon. Ouch. Did we watch the trailer? I guess we could watch it real quick. I feel like we didn't. So they're teasing with the original. Okay, throwing people. Probably going to get copyright struck, but who knows. Trying to turn down it. Yeah, I mean, it is modernized. That is for sure. I mean, we didn't really get to see any gameplay footage. I mean, the OGs are not happy with it. They're not happy with it. So Ogata then shared screenshots of a private conversation in which Ibinuma criticizes the game, calling the screen too dark and saying the characters and techniques don't look good. Ibinuma also says the game is, quote, like a test game for vocational school students, adding Double Dragon is a game with a strong punch and a unique, distinctive feel, but this game has none of that. I almost wish they hadn't named such a crappy game Double Dragon, he concludes. Dang, dude, driving in that knife. Woo! In response to another follower on X, Ogata joked, if I get a chance to try it out at Tokyo Games Show, I want to throw the controller at it. And then this Double Dragon Revive is planned for release, for PS4, PS5, the Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC in 2025. Dang. You know, it's getting to where a lot of the original developers, whenever they hear like a remake or something, are not happy with it unless like, you know, the company's still in control, like your Capcom. These guys are not happy with it. Which, yeah, I mean, certainly didn't seem like Double Dragon. I can understand what they're talking about, like the feel and stuff. Absolutely. I'm trying to think of a game that it kind of reminded me of, but I can't think of it at the moment. Let's see, we covered that. So I saw another video game chronicle that caught my eye. I think we looked at this before, but a new special edition Xbox controller is reportedly launching in October. And I think this was just a rumor, so I guess it's now confirmed. So I guess this is the Ghost Cipher Pad will have a transparent design, it claimed. So a new Xbox Series XS wireless controller has seemingly leaked ahead of an imminent reveal. So according to a data miner, Bill Coon, who has a long track record of revealing new games and hardware, prior to their official announcement, Microsoft will release the Xbox, wireless controller Ghost Cipher Special Edition next month. So writing on Deal Labs, they claim the controller will have a transparent design, although they weren't able to identify its color at this stage. Players should have to wait long to find out more, as Microsoft is reportedly planning to announce the controller this Tuesday, September 24th, when pre-orders are also expected to go live. And it's reportedly set to be released on October 8th and priced at $70. $64.99. Oh my goodness. Yawning over here. 64.99 pounds or euros, or 69.99 euros. It will follow last month's launch of another transparent pad, the Xbox wireless controller Sky Cipher Special Edition, pictured top. Oh, okay. So that's not even the right controller. So inspired by revealing the mysteries inside of the Xbox wireless controller, this transparent controller offers a look into the intricate technology that powers your gaming experience, according to Microsoft. Sky Cipher features a transparent blue design complemented by metallic, futuristic, and silver interior parts that shine through from inside, exuding an aura of sophistication and futuristic appeal. Or exuding. Is it exuding or exuding or ex? I thought I said it differently. Yeah, well. Microsoft recently announced the launch dates for the digital-only Xbox Series X and two other console variants. The white disc, I don't care about this. I guess it's for like the other control variants or console variants. All right, so that's not even the picture of supposedly what the leak is. Interesting, though. I do like this look, though. I do like a blue, a nice, like, Cortana-type blue. I think that's pretty solid. So this is something that caught my eye over at that Park Place. I've heard of Clifton Duncan before. I think he was on Carrie Smith's show, Deprogrammed. So actor Clifton Duncan explains why actors, quote, feel justified in insulting their audiences and how woke entertainment destroys talented women and minority actors. So actor Clifton Duncan lamented the, quote, woke era in entertainment and how it destroys talented women and minority actors, while also explaining why actors feel justified in insulting their audience. In a post to X, sorry, I was reading underneath here. In a post to X responding to a Facebook post from Geek League of America claiming that Daisy Ridley, Amanda Stenberg, Kelly Marie Tran, Moses Ingram, and Jodie Turner-Smith deserve apologies for how they are treated, Duncan stated, the legacy of the woke era entertainment has been to sacrifice the careers and reputations of talented women and minorities by placing them in doomed projects that will inevitably draw severe backlash. The diversity of these shows is the main selling point. When the audience rejects the show, they're then accused of hating diversity, as opposed to wooden dialogue, bland cinematography, lackluster plotting, infidelity to little source material, etc., etc. He continued. Next, he wrote, the performers, the most visible aspect of the project, then have to swallow the pain of a poor reception, tarnished professional brand, and viral memes and YouTube videos trashing their work. Worse, their self-limiting worldview that they live in an oppressive society that loathes them is heavily reinforced, which is a true tragedy, he added. 99% of actors are hired hands trying to get all they can from a very stressful industry where the next job is never guaranteed, even if you're at the top of the food chain. Well, maybe. I disagree with that a little bit simply because the occult that's inside of Hollywood, like those people in power, like they're doing fine. I hate to say that. You might be perceived to be at the top of the food chain, but the people that are really like working behind the scenes, and we're seeing this, with the whole Diddy thing, P. Diddy and everything, there's some demonic shit happening. There will always be crazies in any fandom. The word fan is short for fanatic. No sane person condones abuse or harassment, and none of these performers deserve that, he noted. Duncan then declared, but I agree, these artists do deserve apologies. They deserve apologies for being tokenized. They deserve apologies for being weaponized against fans. They deserve apologies for being used as shield against poor executive decision. But most importantly, they deserve apologies from the Bluigiosi for being reduced to cannon fodder in a culture war. I mean, yes and no. Part of me believes that you know what you're getting into. And a lot of these people do anything to get what they want, to make it big. Or some people just have connections already established due to another family member and can get in that way. So in a subsequent post, he explained why actors insult their fan base. Today, many actors aren't performing for a general audience. They're vying for approval for their peers and from the minority of Americans who think like themselves. That's why they feel justified in insulting you. You are on the wrong side of history. Well, we know this in terms of like that's their mental gymnastics. Not that we're on the wrong side of history. Usually the people who think that, oh, you're on, we're fighting the good fight and you're the enemy. Usually people who think that way are usually the ones that are the real enemies. What's astounding to me is that there seems to be no PR people smart enough to make them stop shitting on consumers. Duncan's comments about minorities and women being placed in doomed projects echoes what Thomas Sowell has repeatedly said about affirmative action. In a discussion with Peter Robinson at the Hoover Institute, Sowell explained that affirmative action put many black students with all their prerequisites for success into places where they were almost guaranteed to fail. Then referenced his own experience at Cornell as an example. I'll go all the way back to 1965. When I was teaching at Cornell, they suddenly brought in large numbers of black students under special programs, And in an ultimately short time, half of them were on academic probation for academic deficiencies. So I went over to the administration building and looked up their SAT scores. The average black student at Cornell at the time was at the 75th percentile. He continued noting that those SAT scores were better than 3/4 of other American students who took the SAT. However, he pointed out that the average student in the Cornell Liberal Arts College was at the 99th percentile. And so, one, you have the students who simply do not graduate, and so there's no great gain from flunking out of an elite institution. He then declared that Cornell spent 4 years making failures out of them. Man, he's going ham. So this is all they're going to pad up with is about the SOL. I guess so. From there, he explained how this is not unique to Cornell. Back when we had the ladder on in the 2000th century at Berkeley, they had black and Hispanic kids who were admitted there. They had test scores just slightly above the national average. The white students have test scores for far above that, and the Asian students had it above the white students. And the great bulk of those black students, an absolute majority, failed to graduate. So they came on campus, wasted some years of their lives, some opportunities they may have had somewhere else. So I'll then share that after California voters voted to end preferential admissions, more minority students enter the university system. The actual data shows that the number of black students in the U.S. system barely changed at all. What happens was that they stopped going to Berkeley and UCLA. They went to the other campuses where their proficiency was like that of the other students. In the wake of that, over a 4-year period, there were thousands more minority students graduating from the system than there were under affirmative actions, he stated. Well, an interesting talk from him. What do you make of Duncan's commentary about the woke era in entertainment, in the entertainment industry? Yeah, I mean, they're definitely being used for sure, but I feel like a lot of them know about it and they're just saying yes anyway because they just want to have that clout. I do feel a lot of them generally just want the clout and they don't care how they'll get to it. That's how like desperate and pathetic they've become. And again, the mental gymnastics they do is that they will always be right no matter what happens. They could have 100% evidence calling them guilty, and they will do a mental gymnastics by saying, well, all that evidence, doesn't apply to me, isn't real. I was set up, X, Y, Z. But as we're seeing with the whole Diddy thing, like, Hollywood's not doing so hot. Hollywood is breaking down. Probably long overdue, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so this one definitely caught my eye. So fired X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DeMeo claims Disney instructed him to make Magneto and Professor X, quote, less gay. I have yet to watch. I think I watched one episode and then I stopped. Because I was like, ugh. And I still don't think the animation isn't the greatest either. A lot of people shitted on me for saying that, but I think it holds true. Like you can clearly tell, like during certain animation points, it's just like, why is it like that? It's like the frame rate constantly like kicked up to like 60%, 60 FPS, and then back down to like 20 FPS or something like that. I should try to finish watching it just to see what all the hubbub's about. So Bo's claiming that he was instructed by Disney executives to make Magneto and Professor X less gay. He shared his experience following Screen Rant's coverage of a rumor from IGN's Alex Stedman, which cited multiple anonymous individuals at Disney and claimed that Disney executives blamed the failure of Lightyear on its inclusion of a gay kiss and instructed Pixar creatives to make Inside Out 2 less gay. Ah, yes, we read about this. So he picked up on that. And we've read this one. We've read that quote. Guarding Inside Out 2, Stedman wrote, multiple people recall hearing about continuous notes to make Riley, the main character of both Inside Out movies, come across as less gay, leading to numerous edits that ramped up around September 2023 after the resolution of the WGA strike. Did that finally get resolved? Notice how it didn't make the news at all because no one really cared about it. I remember reading something about it, like it was happening. I didn't know it finally got resolved. But anyway. Sources, or it just seems like another one just keeps popping up. It's never going to be enough. Sources describe rumors that there was a special care put into making the relationship between Riley and Vale, a supporting character introduced in Inside Out 2, seem as platonic as possible, even requiring edits to the lighting. We remember reading this, so it removes any trace of romantic chemistry. And then they did all this stuff by, put a lot of extra work in to make sure that they seemed straight. So DeMaio reacted to Screen Rant's coverage, writing on X, heard the same words, less gay on X-Men 97 when it came to Magnus and Xavier, as well as marketing. Yeah, and it still failed because you bastardized Morph, who was never gay to begin with, or never was trans to begin with. I love this. See, this is where I think it's funny because he's saying this, and yet, you clearly still saw a bunch of that stuff supposedly in X-Men 97, at least from what I've read. Like I said, only watched episode 1, but you could see it a mile away. He also reacted to Attitude's coverage of IGN report writing on X. This happens a lot more than you think. Often it's done more subtly. For example, the X-Men 97 crew and I fought hard to have Storm's skin tone darker and more accurate to her heritage versus the OG show. See, and there's the problem right there. Follow the fucking show. It was already established. There is nothing to change about. See, this is the excuse. Well, it's accurate to her heritage, but the OG show had it set up like this. So fucking do it the way it was originally. Also means making Rogue not look like a damn plank. Gosh. DeMaio continued, Marvel noted that if we're being so accurate about her skin color, then Storm shouldn't have white hair either. Good. Wow, Marvel actually said that? Good. These sort of microaggressive notes are designed to domino backwards to kill the initial idea. Good. Good. Dude, Marvel has dropped the ball a lot of times, but if he's serious about them bringing that shit up and they're going, then her hair shouldn't be white, and he's crying that was microaggressive, good. See, people like, certain people online who are curious about when he got fired and were like, oh, at least he tried to, do XYZ. At least he captured a lot of I guess there was a lot of plot points from a bunch of the different X-Men comics I've heard along the way. That doesn't change the fact. Do not be fooled on if his intentions didn't seem that bad. Look right here. He's getting upset about it. So they were trying to change it. And if you're trying to say we're not skipping a beat, the minute the OG show ended is right where this show picks up, and we're not skipping a beat, and then you're trying to do stuff like this, then you're not caring about the show. Sorry. As Marvel knows, we're not changing Storm's hair color. He then accused executives of racism. Anyone who's given this guy a free pass because he was trying to at least, do certain stuff from the comics. Do not give him a free pass. Don't give him a free pass. Because he's showing his true colors right here. He then accused executive of racism. Then came the usual racist, well, if storm's too dark, we won't be able to see here at nighttime or dark scenes. I don't buy that for a fucking second. I do not buy that at all. Give me a break. We went ahead and did it anyway. Turns out there's a thing in animations called lighting. I do not buy that I don't believe that for a fucking second. Give me a break. Another posting went on to claim that at one point during the show, Disney requested he put briefs on Magneto when he was crucified on an X. DeMaio's original idea was to have him naked. Of course, because the guy's a fruit. DeMaio wrote on X, originally he was nude, okay, and the beat played as dehumanizing torture. It was Marvel's idea to put him in briefs. The crew and I were so beaten down by that point, we just gave each other a look, knowing their note would do the opposite. Such is ignorance. See, he says his original idea was to have him naked. Which, if that's originally happened, the difference is how much did he want to show? That's the key thing. How much do these people want to show stuff? Because Marvel's trying to get, kids to watch this too. Which all the more reason why he was like, well, why won't you have them naked and stuff like that? It's like, oh my gosh. So like I said, they always have an excuse. Always have an excuse. Even if the original stuff, like, to me, like you've seen this. This is, to me, is like the example of Yasuke, because he's a historical figure, because he's this, because he's that. We can go ahead and just do all this stuff, this like debauchery stuff, even if it's like part of the original like comic or whatever, or XYZ. And then they can fall behind, well, you're just mad or racist because, he's historical, he's this, he's that. It's like, dude, the intention though. I think Marvel saw this dude's intention of why he wanted to do that, and not for the reasons that that it was originally done for. Gosh. Anyway, he also claimed that executives misinterpreted two males exchanging a look of brotherly solidarity before battles as too gay. He claimed one executive described it as creepy. Didn't you admit, are you talking about with Wolverine and Morph? Didn't he straight up admit that, like, yeah, it was romantic, at least for Morph? Dude, the goalpost movement, if that's what he's referring to, like that specific thing. I mean, ultimately, Disney is an entertainment company. I have no duty to push social things onto the audience. That guy's right. True, but when they start misinterpreting two males exchanging a look of brotherly solidarity before battle as too gay and one executive favorite word creepy, there's an issue. No, I think you got mad because you got caught. Because that's what you wanted, and they called out your bullshit. And then that became an issue for you. Remember, folks, people like DeMaio here, they're the first ones who demand, when there's nothing there, that there's some sort of gay romance happening every time. Now, their headcanon gets turned around on them, I guess you could say, or the table gets turned, and now they're saying, no, that looks too gay. You need to make it straight. Now it's an issue. Like, fuck you guys. Get bent. It's okay when they do it. It's not okay when it's been established the way it is. There has to be something there. I do not buy this for a second that he was maintaining this was brotherly solidarity. I don't buy this. I don't buy this for the second, because these are the first people that whenever they see, two dudes who are best buds or whatever, there has to be some sort of relationship there. There has to be some sort of gay chemistry there. There just has to be. These are these people. I do not buy this bullshit for a second. DeMille's claims are suspect given the show was heavily prompting by claiming that Morph was non-binary. Yep, as I said, as part of Empire Magazine's April 2024 magazine, the outlet shared a brief tease of Morph's story and character. Helen O'Hara wrote, the death of shapeshifter Morph in the original animated series, it didn't stick, obviously, was shocking for young viewers, and it stuck with DeMille. Yeah, because that was like the pilot. So you had to get an eye grabber. Then O'Hara shared, this is a lighter take on the character who is non-binary and has an interesting buddy relationship with Wolverine. The character's past with Mr. Sinister, the show's villain, could also come into play. Gosh. DeMille had previously indicated that Morph would be a so-called non-binary character during an X-Men 97 panel back in 2022. While introducing the character, DeMille stated, Morph decided to show a little bit of a different side of themselves this season. We're going to go with that changeling look. DeMille made it clear to use themselves rather than to refer to him as a male. So DeMille also revealed during an X-Men 60 Uncanny Years live stream hosted by Marvel that the entire series was based on his experience as a black gay man. He stated, came up with a pitched it to Kevin Feige, and him and Brad Winderbaum could not have been more supportive and also just encouraged to make sure we got it right. I think one of my favorite parts was like they were truly interested in like what my experience as a black gay man was and how it was going to inform the story we were telling. And that to them was like, that is how we're going to make this authentic, he continued. See, right there. It was never about X-Men. It was never about X-Men. It was interested about his experience as being a black gay man. See, he couldn't make something original on his own. So he had to, he had the right cards in play. He knew the right people. Boom. There you go. So DeMille and Marvel Animation also cast self-described radical queer activist J.P. Karliak to voice the character in an interview. He discussed the backlash Marvel received for welcoming Morph. He told the outlet, I'm a queer activist. Well, then, as far as I'm concerned, you should just go out and be an activist then. You have, this is proof right here. They're not hiring actors. They're hiring activists. I run a nonprofit that advocates for queer representation. I also co-founded a voter registration organization. I know what's going on in the world, especially political, so no, it didn't surprise me at all. I think what I appreciated was how much counter backlash there was with people like, have you watched the X-Men? Are you familiar why they were created and what they're about? Did you forget that? That was reassuring. See, my thing is I doubt this guy even knew about X-Men or watched X-Men. And the people who say, have you watched X-Men? There are plenty of other people that push back against what these guys are saying and saying, no, you're twisting the history. I haven't really taken offense with anything anybody's published as much as they've tried. There was one article that called me a radical queer activist and listed the insidious mission statement of my organization verbatim of what was on the website. I was like, facts, no lies here. Thanks for the promotion. See, they're open about it. They don't care about... They don't care about the product. They just want to make sure that the product gets bastardized with their debauchery. And it's all about them too. Like DeMille said, wasn't that X-Men deeply impacted me was like the secondary cause. The main thing was I want to share my experience as a black gay male. And I happen to like X-Men. So not only did he confirm he was a radical queer activist, but he also shared how in the show is trying to normalize his activism. See? When he was asked about Morph's pronoun. Two things about that. One, as far as I know, we're never going to say the word non-binary because nobody said the word non-binary in the 80s. No one ever referred to themselves as themselves or they and stuff like that. I love it. They're half like lying. Well, we're not using the word non-binary, but we're going to use the terms like they and them and all that stuff. That wasn't in the 90s either. It's not that it didn't exist. It was just in no way a mainstream term at the time. I think it didn't exist back in the 90s. I never, ever, ever, ever remember hearing this retarded shit with pronouns and stuff because people weren't retarded. They knew men were men and women are women. Morph's understanding of who he is. Oh, he just said he, so he just fucked up right there. Could equate to what a modern person would say it's non-binary, but he just didn't have the terminology for it. He continued. At the same time, they, them wasn't a concept in turn of using it as a pronoun. But look at that. You had to resort to he in order to explain your point, thus defeating the purpose. Gosh. This promotion of transgender ideology was also defended by the original X-Men, the animated series creators Larry Houston and Eric Lewald. Yeah, I remember reading about this. For me, the word non-binary is the same word as shapeshifter. I guarantee you back in the day, you did not think that way at all. See, even if you're the original creators, I don't buy this at all. You're just going with the crowd. I remember reading this. As for Luard, he pointed to more shape-shifting into Rogue, Storm, and Jean Grey in Season 2. He said he attacks Wolverine, his closest friends, in the most dramatic way by turning into Jean Grey and putting his hand on Wolverine's neck and leaning in for a kiss. That's as non-binary as you can get. No, that's literally just torturing oh my gosh. Dude, there is no way these people are this retarded. Even the originals. I don't believe so. They just been poisoned enough to now they're going with the clout. It's Morph turning into a woman and coming onto Wolverine to freak him out. He explained. It was all there in Morph's character. Oh my gosh. Way to not read your own work. Because I guarantee you they didn't think this way back in the day. Now it's becoming such a social thing, and I think people will be more sensitive to how it's used. That's the only difference. We didn't see a problem in reading him and didn't feel he was any different. What do you make of DeMaio's claims? Bunch of bullshit. Guy is just like J.K. Rowling. He's on our side on this one issue, but we cannot forget that he's still a leftist and adheres to all things, other doctrines that come out with it. And I will continue to condemn X-Men 97 for having a so-called non-binary character in the show for no other reason than woke brownie points. See, this is why I don't buy it. Like, I'm not falling for him. He was fighting for this one issue. Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's not like he did it out of the goodness of his heart. I think it's because he actually got backlash and he got pissed off about it. Well, that was an interesting read. Prices for the 30th anniversary PS5 digital and DualSense controller have reportedly been revealed from Video Game Chronicle. The prices come from an insider with a reliable track record. See, I don't know how I feel about this one, but I like that one. Look. So Deal Labs user Bill Kuhn again, who has a lengthy track record of revealing unannounced information on PlayStation products, claims to know the price for the PS5 Digital Edition and the DualSense controller for the upcoming PS1 themed range. So according to the leaker, the PS5 Digital Edition will cost $500, which is $50 more than the typical Digital Edition PS5. For the extra money, players get a console colored like the original PlayStation, a matching DualSense, a console cover for the disc drive, which is still sold separately, a vertical stand, a poster, one of 30 possible designs, an original PlayStation-style cable connector housing, 4 PlayStation-shaped cable ties, a sticker, and a paper clip. What? While they don't have the UK or EU prices for the console yet, they estimated that $500 will translate to around $449 or $519. Bill Kuhn also says that the DualSense controller will sell separately at $80, which is the same limited edition Astrobot DualSense controller, which will translate to £69, 79 euros. Prices have yet to be revealed for the 30th anniversary PS5 Pro, which will be strictly limited to 12,300 units. The Pro will also be gray colored like the original PlayStation and will contain all the extras, including the PS5 Digital Edition, as well as the DualSense controller and a charging station. Pre-orders for the 30th anniversary will start on September 26th, and the collection will be released on November 21st. Will not lie, I don't have a PlayStation 5 yet, and I kind of want to get one, but I don't want to buy a separate disk drive or port. That's garbage. Regions where PlayStation Direct is available, a PlayStation Network account will be able to pre-order the PS5 Pro, Portal, and DualSense Edge from there. Regions where it isn't, they can pre-order from participating realtors. And then the digital edition and all that will be available on PlayStation Direct and participating retailers. Guess we could watch the trailer.
Hi, I'm Chris with PlayStation Blog.
Hi, I don't care about you.
30th anniversary milestone?
Don't care.
Well, we are.
There's a PlayStation logo.
There it is.
There's a PlayStation logo in the original full-color version as well.
There.
Gotta have that diversity there. Fat, overweight chick. Sorry to be blunt, but there you go. I'm muting it just because who knows, copyright stuff. So there's the controller looking sharp. Ooh, fancy. The original PlayStation logo. There's your, I'm assuming, charging cable. If you're, there's that. Okay, so we got that. So there's the 3-er. Which one's this one? Oh, is that like the Pro version? That must be the PS5 Pro version. So it's like, yeah, all we did was throw in 2 extra stripes, a 30th anniversary, a stand. That's, I'm going to assume, magnetic. Oh, that controller looks pretty cool. And then you got a controller case. Well, there you go. I mean, if I had the money, I would definitely would want to get it, but just because I don't have a PS5 yet. But there you go. So kind of the main one here. After Suicide Squad killed the Justice League's abysmal failure, Rocksteady rumored to be working on a new Batman game. So apparently just failing miserably doesn't affect anybody over at Rocksteady Studios. It's rumored to be working on a new Batman game. Ex-user Shefesel Nick claims that Rocksteady is working on a new Batman game. He wrote, "Not sure which studio people's dream is, but I heard Rocksteady are back making it. I also think Sony are trying to money hat it." In response to another user casting down on it being a new game, he replies, "Not sure why you doubt it, but I heard new game." This rumor comes in the wake of Rocksteady's most recent release, Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League, becoming a financial disaster. Warner Brothers Discovery Chief's financial officer Gunnar Windensfeld revealed the company took a $200 million impairment charge on it. According to Investopedia, I don't know why I said Topia. An impairment charge is an accounting term used to describe a reduction or total loss of the recoverable value of an asset. Ouch. Said during the company's first quarter earning results webcast, starting with studios, the $400 million plus year-over-year decline during Q1 was primarily due to the very tough comp we faced in games against the success of Hogwarts Legacy last year in the first quarter, in conjunction with the disappointing Suicide Squad release this past quarter, which we impaired, leading to the $200 million impact to EBITDA during the first quarter. Not only did Warner Brothers Discovery take a $200 million impairment charge on the game, but Tom Phillips at Eurogamer reported the company laid off over half of its quality assurance department, reducing it from 33 to 15 at the beginning of the month. Jeez. Oh. And have affected individuals across the board, from junior staff to individuals who have been with the company for over 5 years. Well, you go woke, you get fired. Number of employees allegedly told the outlet that product quality will now suffer as a result of the layoff. No, maybe. I mean, you deserve it, though. Right there. That's Sweet Baby Inc. Credits. There's your problem. There's one of your big problems. These layoffs lent credence to a rumor from Vara Dark that Warner Brothers Discovery might shut down Rocksteady. She said in June, Warner Brothers is internally talking about closing Rocksteady or halving the 250 employees after Suicide Squad killed the Justice League's bomb. I've heavily covered Warner Brothers games and Suicide Squad killed the Justice League since release because of what it represented for Warner Brothers games and a beloved franchise. He continued, when it was greenlit, we were seeing a giant scramble for studios to create live service games, and this one released too late, plus the content did not resonate with players. Furthermore, she noted Rocksteady Studios co-founders and studio heads also departed the company back in 2022. Rocksteady is a shell of the company it used to be, and we saw this happen recently with Embracer Group and Volition, a company that had 30 years of experience under their belt, and it sounds as though Warner Brothers is planning to pull the plug on Rocksteady too. They have no other games publicly announced, and there does not seem to be any confidence in them anymore. Even back in 2016, we got the Batman Arkham VR game that was developed by Rocksteady. The new Batman Arkham Shadow VR game is being done by Camouflage. Only time will tell. It doesn't seem like the future is very bright for Rocksteady, she continued. Always seems around that 2016 when, Bad Orange Man became president. Everything just started going down the shitter. However, a couple days after Dark's initial rumors surfaced, Jason Schreier at Bloomberg reported that Rocksteady was planning to pitch a new single-player game, which would return Rocksteady to its roots. New Batman game would seemingly be back to Rocksteady's roots. What do you make of this rumor? I mean, if it's anything like they did with the Kill the Justice League, they're going to bastardize it in some way, shape, and form. It's going to be awful. I'm not holding my breath. And if that company fails too, then let it fail. I'm at the point where all these companies need to fail, and I feel no remorse for a lot of people that may ultimately lose their jobs from it, as much as that sucks. But it's at this point where everything needs to be torn down to be rebuilt back up, hopefully in the right order, like the right way, with an actual nice solid foundation. Any sort of solid foundation built on wokeness is like building a house on sand, like the scripture says. You can even pull that scripture up right now. Matthew 7:24 through 27. Anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rain comes in torrents and the floodwaters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it is built on a bedrock. But anyone who hears my teachings and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on sand. When the rain and floods come and the wind beats against that house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. That was the NLT version, I think. New Living Translation. I'm one that I like the either like your King James or your ESV. It's pretty much the same thing. But yes, these fools. But to end this show on a more uplifting note, original Resident Evil 3 coming to GOG this month. GOG announced they're re-releasing the original Resident Evil 3 on their platform this month, bringing the trilogy of classic Resident Evil games all onto modern PC via their store. And the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is coming to PC this week of September 25th, making the first time the game has been on PC since its debut over 20 years ago. And I'm not going to read the rundown of the classic game, but it is a really good game. So their version of the game keeps the original content intact. The 1999's description is no exception. Take a trip down memory lane and see how Resident Evil 3 was described to gamers when it launched all those years ago. So you can look forward to that if you're a Resident Evil fan. And we'll go ahead and end it off with this day in gaming. See what games were released today. We got Sonic CD over in Japan. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, apparently. Star Fox Adventures. Got your Lego Batman, the video game. R, no surge, O to an unborn star. Apparently, they bold these ones, so I'm assuming it was like one that like was very popular or stuff or something. FIFA 15, Gauntlet, the Surge. Oh, not Mario Super Picross. Oh no. You got your Castlevania Advance Collection. That was for 3 years ago. Then we'll move over to Moby Games. They have a more extensive list, I think. Dude, Sparkster was released. Genesis for Japan. I need to play that in games too. The Rocket Knight Adventures is a great series. And you got your System Shock. I heard that one was a good game too. Shining Force 3, Scenario 3. I don't know if that's like the full game or not, but that was released. Wait, they had a Law and Order Dead on the Money for Windows. NBA Jam for PlayStation 2. I didn't even know they made an NBA Jam for PlayStation 2. Woo. Oh, the Dragon Ball Z trilogy was released. That should that's where you could actually get 1, 2, and 3 together. If I'm not mistaken, that would be, I think, the Tenkaichi games. Yeah. Oh no, Tenkaichi 1, Tenkaichi 2, and Super Dragon Ball Z. Huh. I know there was another one that had all 3. I just got them separately. Right, not really seeing anything. There's your FIFA 15. Saw a game called Gold Rush. Could only imagine. Yeah, we're into 2021 now, so now we're not. Oh, got your Diablo 2 Resurrected, apparently. Your Primeval Collection and Resurrected. Not just Diablo 2. The Pizza Courier. What, do you play as a pizza delivery guy? Well, that's been another pizza fun. Apparently only in the United Kingdom. Well, that's all I have for you tonight. So, some good, interesting, fun topics. So, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys have a good Monday. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I don't know if there's anybody online or anything. Doesn't really appear to be. But I'm going to go ahead and we'll go sign off for tonight. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys have a good rest of your night. Remember, we were on YouTube, Rumble, and X. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. Tomorrow we'll probably be back for some more gaming. We'll be doing Blue Dragon or more Luigi's Mansion 2. I'm really enjoying Luigi's Mansion 2. It's a great series. So we'll be playing one of those. And if you're over on X, you can feel free to follow me as I make posts. Usually commenting on some stuff in a rather blunt way. But you can always check me out there as well. And I'm assuming you get notified when you go live as well, or when I go live. But all right. You guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.